Ever found yourself trapped in the labyrinth of your own thoughts? It's a place most of us frequently visit, often against our will. This is the realm of overthinking, a mental maze where we analyze, dissect, and replay situations, both real and imagined. It's a human tendency to dwell in this mental space, but it's also a wellspring of stress, anxiety, and indecision. Think about it. How many times have you lost sleep over a conversation you had earlier? Or maybe you're stuck in a loop running through all possible outcomes of a decision you're yet to make. It's like being caught in a whirlpool of thoughts, each one pulling you deeper into the vortex of overthinking. This constant mental chatter can be exhausting, and it's not just mentally draining. Overthinking can seep into our physical well-being, leading to health issues like high blood pressure, heart disease, and even mental health disorders. But what if there were ways to break free from this mental maze? The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers us a way out. As we navigate the labyrinth of life, it's easy to get lost in the maze of our own thoughts. But what if there was a philosophy, a way of life that could serve as a compass, guiding us towards clarity and peace of mind? That's where Stoicism comes in. Stoicism, a philosophy birthed in the heart of ancient Greece and Rome, has practical wisdom that remains strikingly relevant even in our modern era. It advocates for self-control, rationality, and inner peace, teaching us to be masters of our minds rather than slaves to our thoughts. Imagine a world where your emotions are not tossed about by external events, where you are not a puppet yanked by the strings of circumstance. Stoicism paints such a world where you are the captain of your own ship, steering it through the stormy seas of life with calm and composure. At the heart of Stoicism is the principle that we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. It's a philosophy that doesn't promise a life without problems, but rather the strength to face them. It doesn't hand us an easy life, but it equips us with the tools to handle a hard one. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by information, where our attention is pulled in a million different directions, Stoicism offers a refuge. It teaches us to focus on what truly matters, to separate the signal from the noise, and to find peace amidst chaos. And isn't that what we all yearn for? A little peace, a little clarity, a little control in this whirlwind we call life. Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom and practical teachings, offers us just that. Now let's dive into the 10 Stoic ways to stop overthinking. First, Stoics encourage us to live in the present. This is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It's about acknowledging the fleeting nature of time and the importance of not allowing our minds to wander aimlessly into the past or future. This concept, often referred to as mindfulness, is about being fully engaged in the here and now. It's about focusing on the task at hand, the conversation you're having, or simply the sensation of your breathing. It's about noticing the world around you, feeling the wind on your face, hearing the birds in the trees. Overthinking often stems from dwelling on past regrets or worrying about future uncertainties. But remember, the past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. And the future, it's not promised. All we truly have is this moment right here, right now. By concentrating on the present, we can free ourselves from the chains of overthinking. We can learn to appreciate the beauty of the now. And in doing so, we can find a sense of peace and tranquility. By embracing the present, we can quiet the noise of overthinking. Second, Stoics teach us to accept what we can't control. One of the greatest sources of anxiety and overthinking is an unhealthy fixation on the uncontrollable. The Stoic philosophy encourages us to understand the limits of our influence and to focus our energy on areas within our reach. Imagine life as a game of chess. You can strategize, anticipate, and make your moves, but you can't control the moves of your opponent. Stoicism advises us to play our pieces well and accept the nature of the game. Many of us spend precious time and energy worrying about things beyond our reach, the weather, global politics, or the thoughts of others. It's like trying to catch the wind. The Stoic approach is to recognize these as external factors and to let them be. This doesn't mean that we should be indifferent or passive. Instead, it's about understanding where our power truly lies, in our actions, our responses, our values, and our decisions. By acknowledging and accepting the uncontrollable, we can redirect our focus to what we can control, ourselves. This acceptance can free us from the shackles of overthinking. Third, Stoics practice negative visualization. So, what does this entail? Well, it's not about being pessimistic, but rather imagining the worst-case scenarios. It's about preparing for the storms before they hit. To help us appreciate the calm, picture losing what you value the most. Whether it's a loved one, your job, or even a cherished memory. Sounds morbid, right? But there's a silver lining. This exercise allows us to truly appreciate what we have right here, right now. It's a powerful antidote to the human tendency to take things for granted and can significantly reduce our anxiety. By confronting our worst fears, we equip ourselves to handle potential losses and setbacks, and this, in turn, can make us more resilient and appreciative. Moreover, negative visualization can help us manage our expectations. When we prepare for the worst, any outcome that is better than our imagined scenario will seem like a win. This helps us stay grounded, reducing the likelihood of disappointment and stress. By visualizing negatives, we can manage our thoughts better. So why not give it a try? Fourth, Stoics emphasize virtue. Indeed, virtues play a pivotal role in the Stoic philosophy. They are the bedrock upon which Stoicism is built. When we focus on virtues, we shift our attention away from unproductive overthinking and towards cultivating character traits that can enrich our lives. Think about virtues like honesty, courage, and wisdom. They are like beacons in the foggy sea of our thoughts. Honesty pushes us to confront the reality of our situation, not the distorted version our overthinking might create. Courage gives us the strength to face our fears, to step out of the confines of overthinking. And wisdom? Wisdom teaches us to discern what deserves our attention and what doesn't, helping us to cut through the noise. By focusing on virtues, we transform our perspective. We start seeing challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow and to refine our character. We begin to understand that each thought, each decision, each action is an opportunity to embody these virtues. With virtue as our guide, we can navigate our thoughts. Fifth, Stoics practice dispassion. This is not to say that Stoics are emotionless, far from it, but they understand that emotions, especially the turbulent ones, can cloud our judgment, fueling the fires of overthinking. So, how do we practice dispassion? It's about stepping back from our emotions, observing them, but not getting swept up in them. It's like watching a movie, seeing all the drama unfold, but knowing that it's not real. This mindful detachment allows us to see our thoughts and feelings more clearly, more objectively. It helps us recognize when we're starting to overthink, and it gives us the power to press pause, to stop those swirling thoughts in their tracks. This isn't about denying or suppressing our emotions, but about understanding them, managing them, and not letting them manage us. Dispassion can be our shield against overthinking. Sixth, Stoics understand the nature of things. When we say nature of things, we mean the raw, unfiltered reality. Not the reality as we want it to be, but as it truly is in all its unadorned simplicity. This understanding is not about being a cynic or a pessimist. It's about seeing things for what they are, free from our preconceptions and biases. Imagine a situation that's causing you stress. Now, peel back the layers of your assumptions and fears. What are you left with? The simple facts. And often, these facts are far less daunting than the monsters our minds create. This is not a call to ignore your feelings or suppress your emotions. It's about discerning the difference between what is and what we fear might be. It's about letting go of the what-ifs and focusing on the what is. Understanding can illuminate the path through the fog of overthinking. Seventh, Stoics embrace adversity. Indeed, the roadblocks we meet, the obstacles we face, are not just inconveniences or misfortunes. They are the very tools that carve us into stronger, wiser beings. The Stoics looked at adversity not as a hindrance, but as an opportunity for growth. Think about it. Without challenges, what would push us to adapt, to improve, to evolve? It's in the face of hardship where we truly get to test our mettle, where we get to prove to ourselves that we are stronger than we think. This isn't about glorifying suffering, but about acknowledging its transformative power. It's about reframing our perspective, seeing adversity as a teacher, not an enemy. When we do that, we begin to manage our thoughts differently. Anxiety loses its grip. for we know we're being shaped for the better with each challenge we overcome. So, next time adversity knocks on your door, welcome it. Let it in. Learn from it. Grow from it. Remember, adversity can be the forge in which we temper our thoughts. 8th, Stoics practice meditation. This ancient technique, honed over centuries, is an invaluable tool in the Stoics' arsenal. It's not just about sitting quietly or chanting mantras. It's a way to clear the clutter, to tune out the noise and tune into your own mind. Meditation allows us to observe our thoughts, rather than getting caught up in them. It's a space where we can watch our worries and anxieties without judgment, acknowledging them, and then letting them go. This practice helps to create a mental buffer, a moment of pause between stimulus and response, where we can choose how to react. When we meditate, we're not trying to stop our thoughts. That's an impossible task. Instead, we're learning to not let them control us. We're learning to be the calm in the storm, the still point in the turning world. Meditation is like a gym for your mind. Just as we exercise our bodies to keep them fit and healthy, we should also exercise our minds. And just as physical exercise has a positive impact on our overall well-being, so does mental exercise. Remember, it's not about achieving a perfectly quiet mind, it's about increasing our awareness, cultivating mindfulness, and learning to navigate the rough seas of our thoughts without getting swept away. Meditation can help us steer the ship of our thoughts. 9th, Stoics cultivate contentment. This principle is like a secret weapon against the beast of overthinking. It's about appreciating what you have right now, rather than dwelling on what you lack. It's the realization that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's about understanding that happiness isn't something that's out there. It's something that's in here, in your own heart and mind. When we cultivate contentment, we shift our focus from the external to the internal, from what we don't have to what we do have. It's about taking a step back and saying, hey, I have enough. I am enough. This isn't about complacency or settling for less, but about recognizing the abundance that already exists in our lives. By fostering a sense of contentment, we can free up mental space that would otherwise be consumed by constant wanting, constant striving for more. We can stop the cycle of overthinking that comes from never feeling satisfied. Contentment can be the anchor that stops the drift of overthinking. Finally, Stoics practice Amor, Fati. This Latin phrase, when translated, means love of fate. It's not just about accepting fate, it's about embracing it, cherishing it. You see, in the grand theater of life, we are both spectators and actors. We don't always have control over the plot, but we do have control over our reactions. Amor Fati is about taking everything that happens, the good and the bad, the joys and the sorrows, and saying, yes, this is my life and I love it. It's about understanding that every experience, whether we label it as positive or negative, has a role to play in our growth and our journey. And how does this help with overthinking? Well, when you truly practice Amor Fati, you're no longer caught in the whirlwind of what-ifs and if-onlys. You're not trying to rewrite the past or script the future. You're here, in the present, fully engaged and fully alive. Amor Fati can be our compass, guiding us away from the storm of overthinking. These 10 Stoic practices can help us stop overthinking. The journey we've embarked on today, the lessons learned, all circle back to this very point. Stoicism isn't just an ancient philosophy, it's a practical guide to maneuvering through life's labyrinth. Our first stop was embracing the present, where we learned to anchor ourselves in the now, to experience life in its raw, unfiltered form. This practice brings us peace of mind as we no longer dwell on the past or fret about the future. Then we delved into accepting what we can't control, where we learned to differentiate between what is within our realm of influence and what is not. This clarity enables us to focus our energy on actionable aspects of our lives, leading to better decision-making. Our journey then took us to the practice of negative visualization. By envisioning worst-case scenarios, we inoculate ourselves against the fear of the unknown, and in turn we become more resilient and adaptable to change. We focused on virtues, understanding that our character defines our actions and decisions. By nurturing virtues like wisdom, courage, and justice, we cultivate a strong moral compass that guides us through life's complexities. The practice of dispassion taught us to detach from our emotional responses and observe them objectively. This detachment fosters emotional intelligence, helping us navigate our feelings without getting swept away. Understanding the nature of things, we learn to see beyond surface-level impressions. This deeper comprehension promotes empathy and understanding, enriching our relationships and interactions with others. By embracing adversity, we transform obstacles into opportunities for growth. This shift in perspective allows us to make the most of challenging situations, fostering resilience and personal growth. In the practice of meditation, we learn to quiet the mind, providing a sanctuary from the constant chatter of thoughts. This tranquility aids in mental clarity and focus, enhancing our productivity and creativity. Cultivating contentment, we discovered the joy in simplicity and gratitude. This practice nurtures a sense of fulfillment and happiness that is independent of external circumstances. And finally, practicing Amor, Fati, we learn to love our fate, to accept life in all its shades. This acceptance leads to a harmonious existence where we flow with life rather than against it. With Stoicism, we can break free from the labyrinth of overthinking and embrace a life of serenity and understanding. Let these Stoic practices guide you on your journey, for that they are more than mere philosophies. They are a compass for life.